Right, let's continue from where we left off. I'm going to finish soldering in the components, hopefully all of them, otherwise we're going to get a part 3, and I'd prefer not to. So we've got the 4060 here, so let's do that. Bit of flux on there. Now the flux isn't there to clean any of the components or anything, it's just to help it flow a little bit. Let's come in, shall we? Right, so where's everything? Right, I've got my soldering iron here. So let's throw some solder down on one of the pins. And bring in this one. Now this is the 4060, which is sort of a divide by N kind of thing. I used longer pads on this one, which I sort of wish I'd done with the other ones, but it wouldn't have given me as much room to maneuver when routing this board, because it actually, whilst it doesn't look all that complex, I've made it quite small, and I didn't realise this when making the board. I know that sounds really silly, but when I was designing it in Eagle, I didn't really think about scale, and so I thought the board was quite large, but no, in reality it's very small, and it was only when I sent it off, well, not even then, not even when I sent it off to the fab did I realise how small it was going to be. It was when I got them back, pretty much, is when I realised how small it was. I'm sort of soldering 2 pins at once, I don't know if you noticed. The back of the iron is touching the other pin. There we are. That one went in quite nicely. And does it look okay? I'm going to use the viewfinder on the camera to have a look. Yeah, it looks okay. And then the other side. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. Okay, next up. What is next, actually? So I probably want to put the SMD capacitors on and resistors. So we need some 10K. What was that for? I can't remember. Is that to keep the reset line high, I think, actually. God, where are all the components? I've moved things around since yesterday. So they're 470. Let's not worry about those for now. 330. Okay, let's have a look at another one of these boards. I wonder where the lines go. Okay, and these are, it's 470, 330. Uh-oh. Oh, 10K, here we go. I thought I'd lost them there for a minute. And just so that now I've taken these out of the pack that I won't get them wrong, let's write 10K. On the inside, so that's the one where I'm not going to take them off too quickly, hopefully. Now, oh, there's a bit of tape on here. Now I need 1, 2, 3, 3 of those. Are there any on the back side? No, now why would I only need 3? Oh well. Perhaps I didn't put them where they should have been. Oh no, there's another one there. So 1, 2, there should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, because one resets on its own, doesn't it? So the first one resets on its own. In fact, there should only be, yeah, so there are 4, because 2 of the ICs reset themselves. We don't need to reset them, because they go to 9. And so at 9, they reset. I am so bad at getting these out. I can't get the plastic film off. They're so diddy, look at them. These are only 0805s, aren't they? 0805, yeah, but it's not even the smallest. Okay, well, same trick again. We'll solder one side of that first. There's way too much on there. A bit more there, there, and there's one up here. Okay. Now, do you know what? I will use a little bit of flux Maybe I should have done that beforehand. Never mind. But let's pop one of these in. Hopefully you can see that. Do you want to come a bit closer maybe? All right. That's as close as it's going to get, unfortunately. That's one. Oh, uh-oh. That's two. I'm holding my breath. I don't know whether you can tell every time I do it. Oh no, that's three. Sorry, I miscounted there. Counting with Dave. We're gonna have to spin around. Mayday, there we go. And there we go, brilliant. Okay, so let's solder the other side of those. Come on, Dave, this should be the easiest. He says. Let's get it round a way that I can work with it. I really need finer solder for this kind of work, and maybe even a finer tip. But we'll do with what we've got. There we are. Oh, you missed that one, sorry. This isn't going to be the cleanest, is it? I think if I had some finer solder, but you know, this solder, this is some multi-core solder. It's really expensive, so I don't want to go buying loads of it. So I would like some thinner solder, but one day when I'm desperate enough to buy it, we'll get some more. So what have we got left? Sorry about all this focusing nonsense. So we have a 330, goes in the vertical direction. So does a 6.8 meg. Now I haven't seen that one. I'm gonna have to go and look for it, I think. And I've got a big old cap here, right on the edge. It's in a stupid place, mind. What are these? These must be... Do you know what? I don't know what that is. These are SMD capacitors, but they're not the 33, they're not those. There are no other capacitors on this board. What did I buy these for? They're 100 nanofarad 0805s, according to that bit of tape there. Perhaps I meant to switch those out. I'm not sure. Right, I'm going to go and find the other components. I'll be back shortly. Well, I found everything. I definitely thought I'd put it all in the right place. However, I didn't. So we've got all our LEDs here. Got some buttons, probably 100 I think in there. Some 104s, they're going to go down here. And these are my 33 picofarad capacitors. Those are the loading capacitors for the crystals, which are just here. And these are the 6.8 meg capacitors. So I think that is everything, isn't it? And the 470 ohm resistors are here. We can mess about with those values if we want to, but we're not going to. Yeah, that's everything. Okay, soldering iron back on. It did take me about an hour to find all that stuff, believe it or not. Oh, do you know what? I've just realised, because I'm an idiot, we've got some ICs to do on the back. So let's do that before we put too much on the front of that board. So let's get these ones on. That's the 4027 and the 4081. Now, where are they? Here we go. These are the 4027s. I've got lots of those. And then these ones over here must be the 4081. These were difficult to get a hold of, the 4081. So what are we going to go for first? Let's do the 4027 first. Right, 4027. These ones here. There we go. And which way round is it? Uh-oh, I can't really see. Oh, the dot is where that line is. That's right, isn't it? There's no dot on this one, but I'm assuming that line is pin 1 indication. So let's do that. Right. Bit of solder. Flux. Let's not forget the flux. Yeah, you know, when I get stuff in the post and it's some electronics equipment, usually I just stick it all in one box and then I come back to it later when I'm ready to deal with it. However, with those, I thought, oh, I know, I'll put them in a specific box for the project. And then it turns out I haven't done that with everything. Right. Oh, turn that around a bit. God, butterfingers. I haven't, oh no. I haven't done any soldering for a while, so it feels like an age since I've done anything like this for a while. Oh, can't speak. It feels like an age since I've messed around with some soldering, so I'm a little bit out of practice. However, hopefully I'm doing a good enough job. He says, not managing to solder that pad at all. Let's try that again with the soldering iron the correct orientation, shall we, Watts? That's better. Now I don't really need to apply solder to each pin because the soldering iron is holding enough solder for them, but we'll try and do it properly because apparently some people look at these videos like they're a tutorial, which is crazy to think about. Right, that looks fairly done to me. A little bit of stray solder there, don't worry about that. And this is the 4081. So where are you? 4081. Right, a bit more flux. So if you've been following along with this project, you'll know that this is meant to be a kit. But if you've been following them from the very beginning, when I first started talking about it, I think it might have been a live stream, I'm not sure, but the idea was, this one actually has a pin definition on there. There's a slight notch on it, so let's go for that being the one. The idea was that it would be a kit, but it would be, you'd be able to make it yourself if you wanted to. So I was going to give away the schematic and everything, and I still intend on doing that. But it was going to be through hole to make it a lot more accessible. However, it has ended up not being through hole for space reasons on the board. Actually, it was because it was going to be very expensive to. Is that slightly out of alignment? It looks fine from here, but on the camera I can see it's not. Oh, now it's gone the other way. Wow, that's good enough. Yeah, it was going to be through hole, but because the board cost an awful lot to produce, it ended up being SMD, which I'm not unhappy with. I think that's fine. Not a bridge there, no, good. I'm just sort of disappointed because I wanted it to be kind of like a pure CMOS old school clock, but really it's ended up being a CMOS not so old school. Although these chips, you know, they've been around a very long time. That really does look messy, but I'm sure it isn't. We'll have a look in a minute. These chips have been around for a long time, so it could still be old school, but they are SMD, and I wanted it to be through hole. Yeah, that looks okay. Let's have a little look at these, shall we? Yeah, it looks okay. I mean, it's far from perfect, obviously, because it's me doing it. But it looks all right. Right, there's a reset switch on that side and nothing else. So let's not worry about the reset switch for now. Let's jump over to this side of the board and start putting in the components for the timing circuit. So we're going to go with the SMD resistors, the 6.8 meg ones. Let's do those first. That's this bag here. So let's also write on there 6.8 on the inner circle bit, and that way I won't forget. Oh. There we go, roughly. Right, I need 2 of these. So let's see if I can do this. Oh, I've actually got the plastic for the first time ever. 1 and 2. There's a stray 10k there. I don't want to be putting that in there. That would ruin the whole thing. There's 1 and 2. Very difficult to see. They're right there. Should we come in a bit closer? I can't really get very much closer than this, otherwise the camera gets really in my way. Hopefully we're focused enough there. Right, remember the orientation. And a bit of flux. I mean, that's quite a lot of flux, never mind. It's fine. There we go, there's 2 pads done. Now, bring one of my resistors over. Oh, you can see my hand shaking. There's 1. You know, sometimes this is a little bit more luck than it is anything else. Look how small that is. Ah, got it. Oh no, hang on. Right, is that in shot? Oh God, not really. There we go. Ah, there we are. Right, let's get those 2 soldered in. I do have a question. Do you think I should add music? Because, you know, I'm talking, but sometimes I don't have an awful lot to say. So maybe it'd be better if there was some music. Just a little bit of background music, maybe. Well, let me know if you think that would be a good idea. Next, we've got some resistors here, but let's get the timing stuff in, which is not SMD. So we need a bag of these 33s. One, 2 for either leg of that crystal. And let's get a crystal as well. These are 32768, good. Not in focus there, are you? There we go. Let's pop these in. Right, where's my solder? There it is. And the other one. Come on now. You don't want to solder. Let's just make sure it's not anything to do with the legs on those being a bit tarnished. I'll just use a bit of that. Go. The pads around there are just absolutely tiny. I could have helped myself out a bit more. Never mind, it is done. I'm just going to raise that off a little bit so it's not touching anything. I could put a bit of foam underneath there or something, I think. Now let's chop those legs off. Right, next we need a 330K, which is this bag here. Let's come out a bit, we're really sort of far out. I assume they've got a machine to do this on those reels. Oh, I can't. Is it just the one we need? Looks like it. I should really remember, I know it is my design, but there we go, there's one. Goes back in the pack. Let's get one of these pads soldered in. And in goes the 330K. There we are. And just need to solder the other side of it now. Do I want to use a little bit of flux? I do. Just a touch. I mean, a touch, it's like flooded it there, but it'll all burn away. There we go. And then we've got a 10K up there. Does that go to another one of the reset lines? It might do. Let's see if we can pull out some more 10Ks. Oh, the 10Ks. Oh, we had one, didn't we? I threw it somewhere. There it is. So let's get that one on there too. Are you soldered? You look soldered. Good. Now, what's left? 100 nanofarad capacitors. Let's bung some of those in. Oh, we're coming up to the time again where I'm going to have to take this into part 3, I think. Because you're getting this real time, mostly. And I've lost one. Well, we'll have to come back for that. It doesn't seem to want to solder at all. I'm going to put flux on all of these. I don't know why it's not taking. Someone will have a go at me about my soldering technique, but it works, generally. There we go. This one over here doesn't look quite so good. That's better. All right. So all we've got left to do now is add on our LEDs and resistors and the buttons. Oh, and I guess some header pins. Oh, but there's quite a lot left. But we're gonna have to save that for next time because I have to go. I've got to go to the pub. So it's not far away from being completed, not far at all. So I hope you've liked it so far, and if you've got any tips, suggestions, constructive criticism on the soldering, no just big jibes about it being terrible, some constructive stuff would be great. All right, thanks a lot, and I'll speak to you all soon.